The windows got frost on the inside this morning, feathered up the glass where my breath hit it in the night. I get my hands around the coffee before my feet are under me. Out past the fence, the ground is froze so hard, you couldn't put a pick through it. Means if a man dies out here in January, he waits on the thaw, same as the rest of us. So I got to thinking on what a man leaves when he finally goes. And most of you have it backwards. You think what you leave your family is the stuff, the house, the truck, whatever's got your name on a paper. I'm telling you, you can hand them every dollar you ever made and still leave them nothing at all. Whatever you don't hand down, you take into the ground with you. There's 7 things I mean. And the last one, number 1, that's the one I still can't make right in myself. Keep it in the back of your mind. I'll get there. I've seen 81 winters. I was born on this reservation in a house with no water running to it. You hauled it or you did without. And I have done without more than once. I've buried a wife. I've buried a brother. I've buried more friends than I've got fingers to count on. There was one winter the propane ran dry and the money ran dry the same week. And I laid under every blanket in that house, not sure I'd see the thaw. I never had a pension. Nobody sat me across a desk and told me how to leave things to my kids. And nobody left much to me either. So when I talk about what to leave behind, I'm not talking out of a book. I'm a man who stood where you're going to stand, doing the arithmetic on what my people will actually have of me when I'm gone. And here's what the years rearranged. You spend your whole life thinking the important things are the ones you can sign over. They are not. There's 7 that never once fit in a will, and the last of them is the one I still turn over in the dark. Let me count them down. The 7th thing you don't leave behind is your stories. Not the grand ones, the plain ones. Where your grandmother was born and what she did the year the well went dry. Some professors back east got curious about this once, sat a bunch of kids down and asked them 20-some simple questions about their own families. Do you know where your grandparents grew up? Do you know a hard thing that happened to your people and how they came through it? The children who knew those answers turned out steadier. The best thing they could measure for whether a child would stand under trouble was whether that child knew where they came from. My own people kept the years a long time before anybody wrote them down. One picture for one winter, snow to snow, kept by a man whose whole job was to hold it. We knew what those professors found. A child who knows the story of their people has a floor under them. Give them that floor. But that's not even the one that surprised me. The next one you carry in your hands. The 6th thing is the knowing in your hands. How to make a thing, mend a thing, feed somebody with what's in the house. I came up on commodity food, the government cheese, and the canned meat in the plain cans. You know the ones, if you know. We took the flour and the lard they handed out, which they handed out because they'd taken everything a man could hunt or grow, and we made bread of it in hot grease. I won't call that a proud food. It was born of hunger, of being put where we were put. But my mother's hands knew how to turn near nothing into something hot on a cold day, and those hands taught mine how to fix a fence so it holds, how to stretch a little money across a long month. Give a child something they can do with their own two hands. You've given them a thing no hard year can take back off them. A pension dries up. What the hands know does not, because the next thing you leave them, you can't fold up and carry off. It's the ground itself. Number 5 is the land you stand on. Not owning it, knowing it. Which draw fills with water and which one fools you. Where your people are buried and how to find them when the markers are gone and the grass has grown over. I can walk you out onto this country and show you a low spot that doesn't look like a thing and tell you my brother and I ran a horse down out of there in a hailstorm as boys, and that the little spring below it has never once gone dry in 80 years. That's on no map. It lives in one place, in me. And if I don't walk somebody out there and put their hand on it, it dies the day I do. The land will still be here. Whatever you don't hand down, you take into the ground with you. And the knowing of a place is the easiest thing to lose by accident, just by never getting around to showing it. Walk them out onto it while your legs still hold you. Now the next one comes harder because it's about the things you got wrong. The 4th thing you leave them is your failures, said Plain. I know that's backwards from how a man wants to be remembered. But if you don't tell them where you fell in the hole, they'll find that same hole with their own 2 feet in the dark because nobody said a word about it. I drank some years I shouldn't have. I let a good thing go once out of pride, and it did not come back around. My kids know all of it now, and they know it from me, in my own words, not whispered at a funeral after I couldn't answer for it. A mistake you hide gets handed down anyway, just as a surprise, and it lands on somebody who was never warned. A mistake you name out loud turns into a map. Here's where the ice was thin. Don't step there. That's a gift, even when it costs you the good picture, because the next one isn't about what you did. It's about who you belong to, and that runs deeper than most people ever go. The 3rd thing is the names. Who your people were, who you belong to. My people have a word, Tiospaye, and it means more than the way family gets used now. It means the whole web of you. The aunties and the cousins and the ones who married in, and the ones who are yours by choice and not by blood. The thing that holds a person up on every side. A child who knows that web knows they're not one small person alone against a big cold world. They're one knot in a long rope that was there before them and holds after them. I can name the people I come from back further than most folks can, because somebody sat me down and made me learn it, the way we once kept the count of winters. So no name would fall out the bottom and be gone. When you don't pass the names down, a child becomes a stranger to their own blood. They stand at a grave and read a name off a stone and feel nothing, because nobody ever told them who that was. Don't let your people become strangers on a stone. Say the names out loud over and over till they stick, because the next one is the heaviest thing I carry. The 2nd thing you don't leave behind is a grudge buried where they'll dig it up later. I mean, the thing you're still holding. The brother you haven't spoken to in 11 years over something neither of you can rightly remember the start of. The apology you're owed and won't go get, and the one you owe and won't go give. You think it dies when you do. It does not. You leave it right there in the room. Your kids inherit the silence, the empty chair, the name nobody says at the holidays, and don't even know why. They just know there's a door in the family that stays shut. And they'll keep it shut out of loyalty to you long after you're gone and past caring. I made peace with my brother 2 years before I buried him. 2 years. It could just as easy have been never, and I'd have handed my children a coldness instead of a man they got to know. Go make the peace while there are 2 of you breathing to make it, not for you. For the ones who will live in the house you leave standing. Sit with that one a minute, because now we're down to the last thing. Number 1, the one I told you I still can't make right. The first thing, the one above all the rest that you must not take into the ground with you, is the words, the plain ones, said out loud to their face while they can still hear you. I'm proud of you. I love you. You did right by me. You were enough. You were always enough. That's the whole of it. And it is the hardest thing on this list. Harder than the land. Harder than the grudge. Because the men I came up under did not say those words. My own father was a good man and a hard worker, and he went to his grave having never once said he was proud of me. Not because he wasn't. I know now that he was, but because nobody had ever said it to him, and you can't hand down what was never put in your hands. I felt that silence my whole life, like a cold spot that never warmed up. And here's the thing that near stopped my heart. I caught myself doing the same. I had a son standing in front of me, grown, waiting, and I felt the word come up in me, and I felt the old silence reach up to grab it back down. The same silence passed to me like a debt, but I put my hand on his shoulder, and I said it out loud, and I watched 30 years lift off that boy's face in 1 second. Whatever. You don't hand down, you take into the ground with you, and there's no waste on this earth like a man who loved his whole family in total silence and let them find it out at the funeral. Say it clumsy, say it wrong, say it with your voice shaking, but say it out loud, and say it now. And if you're sitting there thinking of the one person you've never said it to, you already know their name. So what are you waiting for? So there they are, your stories, the knowing in your hands, the land your failures said plain, the names, the grudge you finally set down, and the words. Notice not one of them would fit in a will. Not one of them costs $1. And I think that's exactly why we quit talking about them. It wasn't a plot, it's arithmetic. Somewhere along the line, we started measuring what a man left behind by what the bank could add up. And the things that don't add up on paper slid out of the conversation, quiet. But here's what the years finally showed me. All that time, I thought getting old was the world taking things off of me, one at a time. My wife, my brother, my strong back. It wasn't taking anything. It was showing me what was holding the roof up the whole time, and it was never the money. Whatever you don't hand down, you take into the ground with you. I used to hear that as a warning, Now I hear it as the only way any of us stays warm after we're gone. In somebody's kitchen, in a story, in a name a child still says out loud. So let me ask you, and I read what you write down there. What's the one thing your grandparents knew that the rest of us let slip through our fingers? Put it down below, where somebody younger might find it. Next time, I want to sit with you about the things the years give back, the good ones nobody warns you about. For now, walk easy, keep something warm for the ones coming up behind you, and I'll see you when the light comes back.